Davao. Being a teacher has been observed to be a crucial job throughout the history. Science educators need to understand the various principles of learning in order them to efficiently discuss their lessons to the students. Busa, atong saksihan og makipanayam kita sa duha ka klaseng magtutudlo diriya sa usa ka pribado ug prestiyosong universidad sa lungsod ng Davao. Makipaghinabi kita ug ato silang ila-ilahon. Tara, ug lantaw kita sa GA series.
A documentary film of science teachers, imparting their knowledge, experiences, and advice to learners.
So, I am Reynaldo Simbahan Daquintlan. So, I've been teaching for sa science na subject for, I think, 5 years. And 5 years and 6 months. But I was working with DepEd before.
My name is Giovanni Carabilio and I've been teaching here for almost 7 years now.
In your years of teaching, what methods have you observed that are effective when you're within instructional teaching?
Okay, for science, ano bang the discipline or subject. So, it is very important for us to be we have to the trend based on the type of learners that we have. Kasi you have to be very flexible with your learners. Kasi science bang is more on discovery, which is more ako is discovery approach or shall we say kanang ginatawag na inquiry-based instruction. Atong kay Jerome Bruner gani ay philosophy, di ba? Kasi pag science bang is more on discovery. Kasi pag was a students bang board, if we're going to win their attention through discovery approach, somehow you can actually glue your attention to all throughout the teaching process. So let's say for example, for me, I have to throw a question or show some video or images, and that will actually engross their interest, diba? So somehow we are going to connect that particular scenario to the topic that we have for the day. So that is very effective. And aside from that, of course, mind setting. Let's say for example, for the students to be very interested in your topic every day, you have to have something new for the day. Let's for example, the word system. So but somehow, of course, you have to be very flexible kasi as what I have said a while ago, you have to be very flexible sa mga students mo. Kasi kung yung same po mo hang manner or norm of approaches to the students and you're learning what students are different in types of interest, di ba? Meron tayo auditory, meron tayong visual, and of course their character, their attitude towards the topic or the subjects that you're going to teach with them is medyo, you have to be very observant as well. Kay ang ubang estudyante kami sa general section, my God, lahi ko sila. Diverse ang imong students. So, I've been teaching like grade 7 to grade 12 all sciences from 7 to 12. So, I have 6 preparations that time. So, I was new in the department. Somehow, medyo listed yun sa ako ng part, diba? Yun lang. You have to be very, resourceful, flexible, and dapat there's something new every day para ang student hindi po siya mabuka. Ang science mango is more on concept siya, diba? It's more on theories, but wala po ka discuss, wala siya activities kasi we are encouraged by the Department of Education that in science, of course, our approach should be discovery or inquiry-based instruction siya. That is learning by experience as well by John Dewey, diba? Yes, correct. One of the philosophers. And that is very effective in science. And naman, it's more on like, it should be 80% students' activities and 20% instruction. And that is for science. Diba? So that's very effective as based on my experience. So yun siya for me.
The question sir is, in your years of teaching po, what methods have you observed that are very effective in giving instruction?
Okay, for science, ano bang the discipline or subject. So it is very important for us to be we have to the trend based on the type of learners that we have. Kasi you have to be very flexible with your learners. Kasi science bang is more on discovery, which is more ako is discovery approach or shall we say kanang ginatawag na inquiry-based instruction. Atong kay Jerome Bruner gani ay philosophy, di ba? Kasi pag science bang is more on discovery. Kasi pag was a students bang board, if we're going to win their attention through discovery approach, somehow you can actually glue your attention to all throughout the teaching process. So let's say for example, for me, I have to throw a question or show some video or images, and that will actually engross their interest, diba? So somehow, we are going to connect that particular scenario to the topic that we have for the day. So that is very effective. And aside from that, of course, mind setting. Let's say, for example, for the students to be very interested in your topic every day, you have to have something new for the day. Let's, for example, the word system. But somehow, of course, you have to be very flexible kasi as what I have said a while ago, you have to be very flexible sa mga students. Kasi kung same po di mo hang manner or norm of approaches to the students and you're learning what students are different in types of interest, di ba? Meron tayong auditory, meron tayong visual, and of course, their character, their attitude towards the topic or the subjects that you are going to teach with them is medyo, you have to be very observant as well. Kay ang ubang estudyante dahil sa general section, my God, lahi po sila. Diverse ang imong students. So, I've been teaching like grade 7 to grade 12 all sciences from 7 to 12. So, I have 6 preparations that time. So, I was new in the department. Somehow, medyo listed ko sa ako nga part dito. Yun lang, you have to be very resourceful, flexible, and dapat there's something new every day para ang student pili po siya mabuti. Ang science mango, it's more on concept siya, di ba? It's more on theories, but wala po ka discuss, wala siya activities kasi we are encouraged by the Department of Education that in science, of course, our approach should be discovery or inquiry-based instruction siya. That is learning by experience as well by John Dewey, di ba? Yes, correct. One of the philosophers. And that is very effective in science. Nga naman, it's more on like, it should be 80% students' activities and 20% instruction. And that is for science. Diba? So that's very effective as based on my experience. So yun siya for me.
Good or bad, positive or negative siya na experiences that you have encountered in teaching science.
But actually, very interesting naman ang science. Ano siya? Kasi if we're going to compare private and public stage, schools, iba din siya kasi when it comes to science, it entails a lot of preparation. Let's, for example, for laboratory activities. Ang private is more on complete talaga sa mga facilities, example in mga electronic microscope and other equipments for laboratory. Pero sa public, my God, wala talaga. Katong first station na ako, wala din siya as available equipment, so I have to improvise. And in science, good, we have to be accurate in our result, diba? So if you're going to conduct laboratory activities somehow, medyo difficult siya for me is because you have to improvise. And you cannot improvise all apparatuses. So there is limitation on my part. That was actually a challenge for me. So I also conduct the research on it about the experiences of students, labi na sa chemistry. Kasi let's say for example, you're going to mix with chemicals, diba, for a certain output. That is based on the objectives that we have for the day. Pero hindi mo siya ma-achieve na output is because you have limitations in terms of conduct. So it's more on theories lang talaga sa video. Lahi ba yung experiential learning, diba? Yeah, that is very effective for the students. So that was the challenge for me. And within 5 years, wala din siyang kaayon na address. But somehow, as a teacher, you have to improvise and that is your role. So let's say, for example, walang equipment, so improvise. Improvise ka talaga. So you have to spend out of your own pocket. And then if hindi talaga kaya sa pocket, improvise na ka ng mga medyo available materials. And of course, aside from that, let's say for example, if you are assigned to a remote area, ako sa remote, medyo kasi talain mo the area, no? So, I have also to adjust with the type of the students. It's more on the native, like Aita. So, the approach should be like, you have to align with the kind of culture that we have dito. You have to consider them. So, it's more on contextualization yung process natin, or localization, or indigenization. So somehow, whatever the available materials on site, so you can actually use or maximize those available materials as long as you can connect with the topic that you have. As long as you can connect with the topic na first, you will achieve the objectives for the day. So that is very important. Labi na kung na mag-observe sa ima from the division or your principal. So you have to maximize the resources available on site. Yun talaga sa science teacher.
Ano yung resourceful yun, sir?
Kaya iba talaga pag nasa syudad kung saan booking ka.
Yes, true din, sir. Especially, di kan pag mga isolated areas, tribal na areas po dito po public school. So, limited ang learning sa students if mag-aral lang ka sa equipment na available sa school. So, next sir is, how do you usually start your discussion, sir?
Okay, of course, I have to prepare my lesson plan every day because that's a part of our routine every day as a teacher. That is part of the Department of Education requirement. But of course, with the objectives that you have, like for example, yung gatawag sa discovery, so this is one of my talaga siya. But depending on the type of students that I have. So I have to start my lesson. Let's say for example, a movie to like sci-fi movie. Okay, so that has something to do with the work. We can connect to the topic that let's for example, like law of the Philos of Motion kay Newton's law, di ba? So, I have to search, of course, prepare a day before or a night before the presentation of my lesson, like what are the kind of sci-fi movies that I can connect. So, dyan ang studente, ganahan ka na sa movie, no? O, kasi ganahan ka na sila niya. Gusto nila, humunod na ginang the whole period for that movie. But, siyempre, di naman pwede. It's like, share the discussion. No? So, yun siya. Nalay mo part of the movie that I'll be showing din. O di kaya kung wala talaga available kaya sometimes wala man talagang kuryente dito. Picture. O di kaya pwede po siya like a game. Motivational. That is illicit. Kasi sa science mango, there are sa lesson planning, there should be 7 approaches sa lesson planning. So number 1 is eliciting. So that is actually motivation. So iba po siya na approach. And that is very effective for the students na binasa science subject. So you also have to, like, yun nga, discovery or di kaya you have to challenge them for a certain game and you are going to connect the output of that game to a certain topic that you have for the day. And that is very effective. Plus the reward system. Yun.
Mas motivated sila pag may reward.
Is existing ideas. So I think it's rather student experiences of the students. Students by their experience. Siyempre, when we deal with the nature of science, it deals more with their experience. It should be verified. And that would be very close ideas. Business principle, what is your teaching philosophy? So I think my teaching philosophy is more on the aspect of what we call naman may traditional philosophy, inductivism and deductivism, observationalism, rational thinking. So one of the things that we use now in teaching is the use of pragmatism. Pragmatism is all the process of learning progress in students. When you see progress, it can be such step by step, right? So when you do progress, for example, in my class is okay, so in this aspect, traditional is more on scaffolding students, assisting them to master a particular topic. Let's say the first step is that, of course, there's a need to set foundation in studying a particular course. So, di ba namin ang prerequisites, right? So, nasa yung step by step, pero ito sa perspectives. That's why our perspectives is driven by pragmatism na philosophy. Diba? And same goes with the topic as well. So our course outcome is indulged with course outcome 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 to 4 is from simple to complex naman ang outcomes. So same pa rin in our instruction, and it is also structured in our syllabus at the same time. But when we do the lesson plan and things, sa progress is more on monitoring their scores, monitoring their progress when it comes to their scores. At the same time, sa scores is on how they communicate with each other, and aside from that, since the scoring is siyempre as a teacher, pansin mo talaga mo kung sa itong actually like to actually like needs improvement. That's one of the indications we discourage students in the spirit of pragmatism or progressivism. That's why John Dewey.
Principle is it usually start from concrete ideas to abstract. So kasi mga strategy or mga techniques ng mga philosophies or mga integrate mo ang mga
complete abstract. So I think it represents to the Dale's colloquial experiences, ibang more complete abstract. So then complete is more like kung sa'yo nakita, like say when you see the development of a child, like it represents there's a need to something to touch for them, parang makikita nila na okay, mo na this one, pwede mo mapulawin yung pinita because makamata na ito is parang dapat they need something to touch. If you give them words and you ask for them. In the case of college students, since we're college students, we're able to develop abstract ideas. what I will do is, nasa sa sa mga, diba, Edgar Dale's Call of Experience, diba, na siya i-contribute to abstract, na categorize mo na siya into by iconic, wait lang, inactive, ang nasa pinaka-complete. Next is iconic, next time, symbolic. So I usually start with the iconic part. It's like a transition from inactive to symbolic, but it's more like parang complete to abstract mode. So more siya nagkasilas siya. So marami ko siya aspect na mura siya idea na constructivism and reproductivism na approach. Like say, when you do say constructivism, this is more on giving quality answers to the essence or you have a problem solving that it's gonna be a word situation. Like say bungee jumping, how will you reason up? It's gonna be bungee jumping. That's applied to reason optics, diba? Sa atong exam. So, ang reproductivism ng good is more on giving them quantitative ideas like say memorizing, increases of knowledge, and any others like testing like that. So, in my case, how will I apart from quality to abstract, I give them pwede ito mag-pretest na sila ha. So from the pretest is more on giving illustrations or pictures at the same time. Aside from that is more on dealing with questioning, or you give them activities so that they can brainstorm their ideas. Para naa sila yung construct na something symbolic, or like say you give them a criticism on a particular article. So yan na siya. Mura na sa research group na you have been learning about what research is all about. That's going to be an active to complete, and then the symbolic is on how you interpret the data or how you feel with the results. So that's something symbolic, Loved it. So this is my advice for future science like you.
Yes.
So like say it's like a talent, good na you cannot find talent, but you can develop your talent.
Yes.
It's not more on finding, but it's more on developing. That's why it is in the spirit also of the progression. It's also in the spirit of the development of the cognitive development like Jean Piaget. So since we are educators, we should be impact nyo yan. We should be technologically, we should have technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. So those three should be kept in mind. Like kung wala kay pedagogical, how will you teach, right? If wala kay content, how will you deliver the teaching if you have no idea what you're teaching, diba? So dapat may idea what you're teaching. That's why you really have to study well before you discuss with them. That's why in my case, when I-study ko dito first day sa office, ay syempre mag-pressure ko sa mga students kaya napos may mga questions na they're asking the right questions actually. I really like those idea nga na nag-ask ng right questions. Laban lang,